Hey there, and welcome to episode 134 of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If the tech in your business feels overwhelming, confusing, or like something that you are constantly trying to figure out, this episode is going to make things feel a whole lot simpler because you don't need more tools, more platforms, or more complexity. You need the right foundations in place so that everything else becomes easier to manage, build, and grow from. And that is exactly what my guest, Nicola Walsh and I are diving into today. Founder of This Mum Loves Tech, Nicola's mission is simple: to help mums in business feel confident, calm, and in control of their tech. Join us as she shares the three core systems that every online business needs before scaling, the tech mistakes that most mums in business make, and how to avoid them, why email marketing is one of your most powerful business assets, how to use automations without losing the personal connection, and why understanding your own systems changes everything about how you grow. Your tech should support the way you work and not become something that you are constantly trying to manage on top of everything else. And when it's set up well, it stops feeling like a constant decision making drain behind the scenes of your business. So if you've been putting off sorting your systems, feeling overwhelmed by all of the options, or you just want your tech to feel simpler and easier to manage, this episode is going to help you strip things right back. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business, and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mumpreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mompreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hi, Nicola, and welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. I'm very excited for our chat today.
You are very welcome. I was so pleased that you said yes. And yeah, really looking forward to you diving in all things about keeping tech simple, which is something I struggle with. And I know a lot of our listeners do as well. It's such a minefield. So hopefully, and it's not even hopefully, I know by the end of this, you're going to really unravel all of that for us because you are a complete tech wizard. So yes, really looking forward to diving into all of your tips and strategies. Before we do that, just in case anybody hasn't met you before, and this is the first time hearing, watching you on YouTube, do you want to just share a little bit about you, what it is that you do, your family, journey, all of the things?
All of the things, yes. So, yeah, I'm Nicola Walsh and I'm the founder of This Mum Loves Tech. And put it simply, I love tech so you don't have to, because I very much know that most people come into business not to become their own IT department. So that's where I can come in and help be that IT help desk that maybe you're used to from like the corporate days and things like that. But also just to help you get the systems in place that can help you to support you to grow your business, because we can't really build it without being online nowadays. And it's such a minefield. There's so many options out there. So I want to help make it simple, like you said, and also affordable, because it shouldn't be something that like breaks your bank every time. A lot of people ask me, how did I come into this? So I actually used to design children's books. That's what I did pre-children, funnily enough. Then I had children, and that because that was in London, I was like commuting like 2 hours every day. And I was just like, this isn't sustainable with a little one. Like would have literally had to have like left him at breakfast and got back just in time to like kiss him goodnight. And I was like, that's not how I want to. Well, it's just not what I had kids for, really. So I then started looking for local jobs where I could, just do the 9 to 5, but only have like a 15-minute commute or whatever. And then I had my youngest in 2022. At the same time, my eldest started school. And I was like, so how does this work? How do you cope with all the school holidays, a shorter day? Because I was used to doing 9 to 5, and all of a
Mm.
sudden I was like, oh, I have to finish at 3 o'clock. Okay. And then the inset days and the half terms, and I was just like, I don't have enough holiday days to cover this. Like, and so, but I was on maternity leave while this was happening, so I was like saying to my husband, like, what are we going to do when I go back to work? Because it just, yeah. Anyway, so that's when I'd been kind of like dabbling in the online world at that point for a couple of years, kind of doing odd bits as people kind of asked me, can you do this? Can you do that? And then I decided when the maternity leave came to an end that I was like, no, I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to give this a go for 6 months. And if it doesn't work, I can always go and get a job. And that was nearly 3 years ago now. So yeah, and turning into the tech side, obviously, I've always used computers in my graphic design work because it was all computer-based design. And what I realized doing lots of work on myself, lots of things of what do I actually love doing? What do people always ask me for? And people were always asking me, show me how to do this. Can you just, oh, you done this? Can you just show me how to do that? Like always, like even when I remember like back in school, if I pick something up, people would be like, oh, can you just show me how to do that? Um, and it's like just yeah, working on that kind of side of myself, I realized that that's my gift, I guess. My skill set is that I can explain things to people in a way that they understand it, because that's not everyone can do that, I don't think. Not everyone can break things down in a way that makes it simple and, not using techie talk and jargon and like looking at someone's face and being like, you didn't get that, did you? You haven't understood what I've said. I need to try that again. And it's never the person you're explaining it's to's fault. It's that I've not explained it in a way that they understand. So it's just coming at it from a different angle. Um, and having patience, because just because I know it doesn't mean that they do. So if they need to be told it more than once, then that's how it has to be, until it kind of clicks, and then you can carry on, kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of where I got to. Where I am is really looking at what do I love doing, what's my skill set. Still, like I still do designing bits, like I design websites and help people, when they're doing different parts of their social medias and stuff. I throw all that in as well, but the main core bit is getting all of those bits working. I do love a puzzle and I love a quiz and all that kind of thing. And it's like, right, how do we get this to work? And it's so satisfying. I literally was working with a client this morning, and we did the test. We signed up and we saw the email go into the inbox. And it's like, all the steps that happened in between that, no one else needs to know what they are, but we know that it's worked. Like, someone signed up for something, they got the thing at the end that they wanted, and that's like, yeah, that's a great big satisfaction to me when that happens.
I love that. And it is so satisfying when you've actually done it and nailed it, especially if you're not tech savvy at all. To actually see something works, it is just like, yes, thank goodness. Oh, I love that so much. And you're right, trying the mum juggle and trying to do business when we suddenly realise that, oh, actually, we don't have 9 to 5, it's 9 to 3 all of a sudden, and doing something. And I love that you've just honed in on what your skill set is, what is right, what people are always asking you to do. That's just been an absolute perfect way to go into the business of what you're doing now. And you do make things so simple. Just a few conversations I've had with you and speaking with you at networking events, and how you explain and break things down. And you have your 2 minute tech tutorials that you do each week as well, don't you? And it just makes it so much easier. So I'm so glad that you're definitely in my world. Absolutely. And everybody's going to have to come and follow you afterwards because you just make it so simple. And like you say, as biz owners, we don't expect to go in and suddenly be our own IT department, do we? That's the last thing that we
Yeah.
want. So that leads us nicely then to what are the three systems that every online business owner needs in place before focusing on growth and scaling? What would you recommend?
So the three key things you need to have is you need to have your own domain name. I see lots of people get started and they just set up maybe their business name at gmail.com email address, and they're like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it. But then they start setting up social media profiles and they're like, oh yeah, this is what my name's going to be, even if it's your own name. And then you go to take that next step and you find that the domain name that you've been using and the business name that you've been talking about is no longer available. So my first key piece of thing was to be go and get the domain name as soon as you can. It's like it costs like 15 to 20 pound for a year. And it just means that when you come to do the growth bits, you know that the name you want you can use. Because there's nothing worse than thinking, oh, someone else has got that, because only one person in the whole world can have each domain name. The ending bits, so
Mhm.
like someone can have .co.uk and someone else can have .com, but only one person. So like thismumlovestech.co.uk, which is my domain name, no one else can have that. That is mine. Until I stop paying the domain people for it, I own that. So no one else can use it. And that's like really important when it comes to doing things further down the line, like websites and all that kinds of stuff. But I think people think, oh, I don't need that right now. But then they get too far and they start getting a name for themselves, and then they realize, oh, I can't actually get that. So now what do I do? So that would be my first tip. And then connected with that is then once you've got that domain name, connecting it to an email address. Because if you start using one email account, and I do this a lot with my clients, and then you realize further down the line with things like email marketing and stuff like that, that you need to have an email address using your domain name, again, you end up having to set up something else. And then you'll end up with two inboxes, and if it's a Google one, you could have end up with two Google Drives, and you don't know what you've signed into what with. So I always try and recommend that people do as well even though you may think, oh, this will be fine to just have a Gmail account for now. If you can get a professional one, to do it as soon as possible, because then it means that you haven't got to tell people that your email address is changing, and you haven't got to change things in the background. Like you can just start as you kind of mean to go on. And what a lot of people don't realize is you can set up a professional email address, so that's one connected to your domain name, in either Google if you like Gmail, or Microsoft if you like Hotmail. So you don't have to learn a new system. You do have to pay. It's around £6 a month, so it's not a huge expense, but it just means that you can keep using the inbox you're probably familiar with, you're using it every day. I've seen there's a definite camp. You're either camp Microsoft or you're camp Google. So you might as well just stick with the camp that you know and just get your email address connected to it. And then the third thing following on from that, the third tool that I recommend people kind of get going with they can, is email marketing. And then a lot of people are like, oh, I don't need email marketing. I'm not big enough for email marketing. I hear that said a lot. And it's like, well, the thing is, even if you only have a few people on your email list to start with, that's still people that you know are interested in what you do. Whereas like our social media followers, we don't know who's seeing the stuff that we see. We post. We don't know, like, the percentage of people that see it is pretty low. And also we don't own those platforms. So if something ever happened, if our accounts got hacked, if the platform just suddenly like decided to go down or make a change or something like that, then all of that community and those people that we have grown in our audience disappear. Whereas an email list is an asset that you own. So it's protecting your business. So even if you think I'm not ready for that yet, like, we're not talking you have to have hundreds of people on your email list. it's taking me 3 years to get to 500.
Mm.
It's not something that, I think they hear people talk about email lists and getting hundreds of people on your list before it makes a difference. It doesn't. If it's the right people, 50 good people can make a real difference. So get started. And even if it is like only one person every couple of weeks, then that's a great place to start. You've got to start somewhere rather than wait till you get to the point where, oh my God, my account's gone down. Now what do I do? Well, if
Mm.
that happened, you've got that, at least that foundation list of people that you can go and message and say, oh my God, this has happened. Can you come and follow me over here instead now? And it just helps you rebuild if you need to, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that would be my three things: get a domain name, get a professional email address, and get some email marketing going.
Yeah, love it. And it's just basically just it's setting the foundations for as you mean to go on, isn't it? And so important. I mean, and just the side of having just a proper email address so that it looks professional and in the authority building without having at gmail.com at the end of it makes such a difference too. But yeah, definitely email marketing. I totally agree. That was one of the first things I did when I set up again. And my growth was slow to start with, exactly the same. But like you said, that you know that they are your people. And we've had those times recently where Instagram has gone down, hasn't it? And I took advantage of that and emailed my list going, hey, we're still here. Instagram might be down at the moment, but I'm chatting to you here on email. Here's a tip for the day. And I got so many replies back from it, but it's really satisfying knowing that you own that asset and you can take it and it's yours. And you're just building on someone else's platform otherwise, aren't you? So yeah, awesome. So how do we automate parts of our business without making it feel robotic or impersonal to our clients? Because I know automating is really helps us save time and just takes away some of that load of the workload, doesn't it? But how do we do that so that it isn't feeling robotic or like we're being impersonal?
I think that's really important because I think with the rise of AI and everything, people are a lot more wary of, is this a real person or am I talking to a robot?
Mm.
So we do need to use automations and tech like smartly and effectively so that we can, like you said, automate the bits that are going to help us, but not take us away from the business. Because at the end of the day, most of us, we're solo business owners, we're the person they're buying from. So we want to make sure that they know they've actually spoken to us. So what I do with a lot of my automations is it depends what it's for. So something like people joining my email list to get a freebie, they could do that at any point. So I have got that automated. So I've recently set up on Funnel Sketchers, and that does the DM automations. You may have heard of ManyChat, but it's essentially the same thing. Is people comment a word, and they automatically get sent a DM. I set it up when you were doing your Thrive thing, actually.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, so you commented the word Thrive, and you automatically got a DM automation with the link to go and sign up for it. Now, I don't think that is being robotic because it means that people, when it works for them, can get the thing that they want. So something like a freebie, I could be on the school run or trying to put one of my kids to bed or something like that. But if your kids are on a different schedule to mine, it means that you can get the thing that you want and you haven't got to wait for me to reply when it maybe then is not convenient for you. So I think that's a great use of automations without taking you away. I think that actually enhances because you're giving people what they want. What I did with the recent challenge that I ran was then when someone joined my challenge, I then personally went and messaged them. And I don't believe as well if you get new followers that should be an automated message because again you can't then personalize it. So like when people were joining my challenge, they commented the word challenge, they got the notification and they joined. I then went back and said thank you for joining my challenge. Like if it depended on whether I knew them already, some of them I was like, I know you've already got your email list set up because it was to do with starting your email marketing. I know you've already got your email list set up, so what is it you're looking for out of the challenge? Other people that I didn't know, I was going back to them and saying, oh, have you got an email list yet or not? Like, or asking them to get more out of them. And it ended up being that I got replies that then helped me shape what content I put in the challenge because then I was answering the questions that they had. So then that was like, I'd use the automation at the beginning, but then use the personalization to then find out more. So it's the same with, yeah, like when someone like follows me on Instagram, I will personally message them. And sometimes I'll look at their account quickly. And if I see they've only got a couple of posts, I'll be like, oh, so you're new in business. It's obvious you're new in business because you've only got a few posts. Whereas if someone's got a much bigger account, then how I would talk to them would be different because of the where it's clear that they're a more established business. So they probably already have some tech stuff set up already. Whereas someone who's completely new might be like, I don't even know where to start. So how you follow on with them is then different. So I think it's just looking at your business and thinking, what bits do I need to automate? Things like I was talking about the DM things, but also when people join your email list, when they join courses or products and services, you want that to be seamless because that then looks professional. Like if someone joins something and they need to get access to something, that should happen automatically. That means that they're not waiting for you. They can just get on with it. Whereas if you're trying to get new connections and grow, like the communication with people, that's better to do not automated because otherwise people are like, oh, well, you've just sent me a DM. That I can see that that's an automated message because you haven't even said hello to my name, and it's things like that. Like it's really obvious. I think it's just using like just because the tech can do that doesn't mean you have to use it. It's thinking of where can I automate things in a way that's going to help me without taking me away from the business.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it and actually thinking, well, what could be automated that makes delivery right away for what it is that they're doing and need. But weaving then in having the conversations because they're already a warm lead then, but you're nurturing them and having a conversation. And like you say, using it to then take to what you're going to use to shape the programs that you're doing and the challenge that you're doing. That is super, super smart. So yeah, thank you for that. Just looking at when to do it and what makes the most sense for each. So why would you say that? I mean, we've already talked about having an email, doing email marketing, and the fact that we own our email lists. But why do you think email marketing is the most powerful asset for mums in business?
I mean, my business wouldn't be where it is today without my email list because, you know, I like social media and I like posting, but it's a hard slog, you know.
It really
Showing
is.
up on the different platforms, doing all the different types of posts that you have to do to get seen and all that kind of thing. Whereas, an email is just a bit of text sometimes, a link to something. And I find in terms of delivery, it's a lot easier way of getting the message across to people. But also it does go back to the fact that, you own your email list, and I think with email marketing, people have opted in to hear from you. Obviously, people have to opt in with all like GDPR and all that kind of stuff. Like you can't just email people without their like having that haven't opted into it. So they're already interested in what you do. Whereas on social media, your posts are going out to who knows? People that, you see things on your feeds all the time and like, I'm not interested in this. So you're just hoping that the right people and the right keywords, if you've used them and stuff, are going to pick up the right people. Whereas that the people in your inbox or the people that are on your email list, well, they've opted in to be there and they can opt out. Like if they don't want to hear from you anymore, they can just unsubscribe. Unsubscribes are a good thing as well. I just want to add that in. Like people get worried about unsubscribes. It's like, no, that's a good thing because they weren't gonna take things any further with you. You don't need them on your email list anyway, and they can always rejoin when they want to. But yeah, and you can personalize more how you communicate with people on your email list. So I'm a big fan of like using tags and or groups or whatever system you're using, so you know how people come into your world. Because I hate it when I get an email from somebody when I've already signed up to the thing that they're promoting. It's like, how do you not know that I've already got this? Whereas there's ways that you can use your email marketing to you know, send an email, but not to a particular group of people that. So, for example, with my event that I'm running this summer, I have people on my email list that have already got tickets. So I don't want to send them an email saying, get your tickets. So every time I send an email about the event, I exclude that group of people. So, or I might like do a second one that only goes to them that's worded slightly differently. Like you saying about my 2 minute tech ticket tip that I do every week. I send that as an email. I'll just change a bit of the email so that the ones going to the people that have already got tickets don't have the bit about buying tickets. Because then again, it feels more personal because you're not you know then that person, like, you don't realize that I'm promoting something you've already got. Whereas I think if you saw that, you'd be like, well, how do you not know that I'm already coming? It takes that person. So it's about, we said already, using the tech but still staying personal. And your email list is just a way that you can take that personalization even further, but still only send one email that goes out to hundreds of people, but still personalized, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, makes total sense. And it's a super smart way of doing it because most email systems allow you to tag now anyway, don't they? And it means then because some of your audience and some of your clients might be in a different stage of business to some of the others, that's one of the things that I do where I've got my three-part framework. Some people are in the alignment phase, some people are in the momentum phase. So my email list is segmented so that I can talk to them of where the journey is, where they're at right now as well. And yeah, like you say, there's nothing worse than getting that email and knowing, well, how do you not know I've already signed up for this? Or I've already got this product. Why are you sending me a flash sale on it? It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it just takes it more personal and shows that you're actually just taking care of what you're doing and actually making it personalized. So yeah. So interesting, with your mission to empower more mums in business for understanding their own tech, you only do done for you services. Why is that?
Yeah, it's something that I made the decision probably about a year ago now, is because I was working with too many people. I was meeting too many amazing business owners who had all these things set up for them. Like they had a website set up for them, or they'd had their email marketing, but they didn't know how to do anything in it. They couldn't update their prices because they couldn't update the price on their website. So they couldn't have different prices on their website to what they were talking about. They wanted to change something in their lead magnet, which is like a freebie that you'd offer people to join your email list. And they didn't know how to do that. So they were stuck with this old one that wasn't actually working for them anymore. And I was like, that's not helping people. Like, yes, have the system set up is great. But if you don't know how to edit it yourself, then it becomes out of date really quickly. And it shouldn't be, because the beauty of having things online is we can, like, digital stuff, you can update. It's not like you're getting a printed flyer done where once it's at the printers and you've got the physical thing in your hand, you can't go and then change it. The digital stuff, you can just go in and edit a box, but that's only good if you know how to edit that box. Um, so yeah, I just didn't want to do the work for people and not have the opportunity for them to then know how to do it. Because I started as a tech VA when I kind of started moving into the tech side. And yeah, I would just be like, but I want to show you how to do this because it's really like now I've got it set up for you, it's really quite simple to manage if because it's like you just don't know what you don't know with a lot of these things. And
Mm.
actually, it is just a case of finding the right text box and typing in the text. But if you don't know how to get to the text box to change the details, like I say to a lot of my clients, like if you want a complete page redesign or whatever, then that's different. Or if you want a complete website redesign, I still do it done with you, but I do it where I do the designing part and you're there like saying, oh, I like that bit, I don't like that bit, but I'm actually doing the building bit.
Mm.
But then if I'm doing just a one-off hour call, it's very much I get you to do it, because also I find as well, I mean, it might just be a me thing, but see if you agree with this as well, is that if I do it myself, it goes in better. Whereas if I'm just watching somebody else do it, like I don't, it's like when you go driving, I think sometimes, like if I drive somewhere, because I'm always a driver, I can remember the journey if I've driven it. Whereas if I've been a passenger, I'm like looking around, I'm not fully focused. Whereas
Yeah.
if I've had to do it, and I think it's similar with the tech. If you've had to do it, you've had to sit and concentrate on it and work out where you're pressing. When you come to do it again, it's more familiar. Whereas if you're watching me do it and you might check your phone quickly, or you might look out the window, whatever, you lose the flow of it, and you might miss a really crucial step. And I always give people the recordings, but because they can see themselves do it as well, it's on their own system. They're like, oh yeah, I remember where that was. Because again, like people's computers and systems look different. Whereas if you've done it on your own system, you're more likely to be able to remember how you did it. So yeah, that's the main reasons. Because and some of the clients I worked with when I first started, like officially 3 years ago, I love getting the messages from them when they're like, I've just, added a new page to my website and I've launched this new freebie thing. And these were like amazing women who, when I first started like working with them, didn't even know what a domain name was, and were like, had never heard of email marketing or where to start with it. And now when I get the messages or something, they pop something in my group and they're like, look what I've done. And I'm just like, yay, you've done, because I'm like fully booked at the moment, which is amazing. But I don't want to feel like people I've worked with are now like because that's a lot of pressure on me as well. If they're waiting on me to be able to progress their business, whereas if they know how to do it themselves, they can keep progressing. If you want to change your prices, if you want to launch a new product and you know how to do that, you can just do it. You haven't got to wait for someone to do it for you, because that I get a bit passionate about that. Like you shouldn't be having to wait for somebody else to grow your own business.
Totally agree. I love how passionate you are about that. It's just brilliant. And it's so true, though. If you're doing it yourself, it stays in your mind, doesn't it? And it's a bit easier and a bit more familiar. There's nothing worse than watching somebody else, and probably, especially me and my ADHD brain, I get distracted. And then it'd be like, what did she show me again? Where was that box? And the times I've done the same with my website where I haven't known how to do something and I've just gone round and round in circles. So, yeah, definitely. And it must be so rewarding, and knowing that you're empowering them to take those steps, because there's nothing more frustrating that even if you just want to make a simple change like changing your prices and you don't know how to do it, or updating the PDF of the lead magnet because you've changed something in it and not knowing how to do that, oh my gosh, super frustrating. I love it. That's such a great way of doing it. And the fact that you're not scared that if you're showing them that they're never going to come back to you again, because there's bound to be something else techie that they're going to need help with, and you solved it and empowered them, so guess who they're going to come back to again next time. So I think that's just brilliant. So tell us about your event that you've got coming up June 30th. I know it's going to be absolutely amazing, but what is it all about and why did you decide to host it?
Yes, so I am doing my very first in-person event this year. I'm super, super excited, and I'm super, super excited that you are coming and going to be one of my table hosts.
I am. I can't wait.
I'm really looking forward to. So obviously I do everything online, and I love working online. It means I can work with people anywhere in the world. It means I can work when it suits me. I can keep to those school hours and all that kind of thing. But there is something about meeting people in person. Obviously, you run your networking, so you know how powerful being in the room with people, seeing people in 3D is, instead of, on the screen. So I've been running my business. It'll be 3 years in September. And as I said, there's people that, well, I've known beyond that. Like when I first came into the online world in 2021, there's people that I am in contact with and know that I've never met in person. And I wanted to, it's my 40th birthday this year. And I was like, what a better excuse to put an event on, celebrate everyone that has like got my business to where it is today, and just see people in real life. And a lot of the people, there's a couple of people I've spoken to who I've never been to in person before because they're like worried about it, or they get nervous about the fact of. So I wanted to put on an event that was going to feel really safe and really supported, which is why I've got my table hosts, because I'm quite a confident person. So I am quite happy to go into a room with people I don't know and just start talking to somebody. And if they ignore me, I just move on to another person. Whereas I know that's not something that lots of people can do. So I didn't want it to be an event where you feel like you have to go and talk to somebody you don't know, and then or there's groups of people and you have to get in a group and all that kind of stuff. So in my event, I'm having round tables because I feel like round tables encourages conversation a bit more because you can see more people. Whereas if you're in a row, you're kind of stuck with the people either side. And also, I've got my table host. There's going to be opportunities after each break for everyone to introduce themselves because I want movement as well. I don't want you stuck in the same seat all day. I want you to move around the room after every break, introduce yourself and get to actually meet the people because there's so many times like people ask, what do you want to get out of this networking meeting, or what do you want to get out of this event? It's to meet new people. And then you come to the end of it and it's like, well, how many people did I actually meet? I spoke to like 5 people. I'm like, no, I'm not having that. And my event, you're going to move, so you're going to get to, my goal is that everyone meets at least 20 people by the movement in the day. I've got some brilliant speakers lined up as well that are going to help us with other areas of our business because again, it's a bit harder to do tech stuff in person because I need to be able to show you the platforms, and I love being able to log in and actually show you what it looks like. So I'm going to do a little bit of techie stuff in terms of talking about my story and getting people to like audit where their tech is. But I wanted it to be a day where you learn other things as well. So I've got a business coach coming who's going to help us create our goals for the next, like the rest of 2026. I've got someone coming to talk to us about sales so that we can, you know, get those conversations going because it's so important to have conversations and things. I've got someone coming to talk about websites. It's my website mentor who kind of taught me everything that I know. So she's going to come and help us understand the importance of when you first get onto a website and that kind of open section. And then the last person I've got speaking is Joy Foster, who was the very first person that I met in the online world. It was the very first course that I joined and really kickstarted all of this off. So, and she does social media training. So she's going to come in and talking to us about social media and the confidence to show us up online. So yeah, so it's a real mix of topics, but that support the tech because like we need all of those things along with the tech. So it's kind of a day of adding to all the things that I teach people online. So that's kind of my plan for it. I don't want too many speakers. That's why I've had 4, and they're all speakers that have played a part in my journey of getting This Mum Loves Tech because it is that celebration of the community and This Mum Loves Tech. I wanted them to be people that are part of my story. So they're Jen Lister, who is the business strategist, is someone I've known for a few years now and I've met quite a lot of times in person. And then Lisa, who is the sales trainer, she was in my tech school program. So tech school is my big one-to-one term lead support. I know that's something that you are a big fan on, and we discussed when we met. So yeah, so I helped redesign her website because she was one of those people that had a website that was actually turning clients away because it said what she didn't do anymore. So we've revamped it now for her. So it actually says what she does and she knows how to edit it. And I've made sure that she knows how to edit all herself, add blog post herself, change pictures, all that kind of thing. But yeah, so they're all people that have been part of my story. They're not people that have like applied to speak and stuff like that. So that was really important to me as well, that there's a reason why those people are there. So yeah, it's on the 30th of June and it's in Chelmsford in Essex. It's from 10 till 4. At the County Hotel. So it's really accessible from trains, or even if you have to like fly in, you can get a bus and the bus terminal is walkable to the venue. There's also a car park, so if you need to drive. So like whatever mode of transport you need to get, it is accessible because I know people may not if they're outside of your kind of networking area may not realize like how accessible Chelmsford is.
Amazing. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be incredible. And like you said, seeing the lineup for the speakers, they sound amazing. And I absolutely love the fact that you've taken it as a whole celebration of your journey and that you've deliberately brought people in that have been part of your world and helped you get to where you are now as well, which is so, so cool. And yeah, I'm super excited to be a table host for you and just gather and network with everybody. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We'll make sure that the link for that is in the show notes. So if you are in the area or even if you are able to get on a plane and fancy it, then come along and come and join us there, because it will be fantastic to have you there, and it's going to be an incredible event. So absolutely love that. Thank you so much for this. It's been absolutely brilliant. I've got one question that I always love to ask all of my guests before we share where everybody can come and find you. So what I love to ask is, what does being an unapologetic mompreneur mean to you, and how do you show up every day unapologetically, both as a mum and as the boss of your business?
Oh, that is a great question. So, I mean, the reason I am in business, as I said at the beginning, is, so that I can work around my boys. I can be there for every school pickup. I can, change my schedule around to go on the school trips. And like, I didn't have kids to, have them in childcare 5 days a week and never see them and never be part of their childhood. So it was really important to me that I got to do that, but it's also really important to me that I still do something that I enjoy, because I don't want to be just doing any kind of work. I want to do work that I love doing and I know is making a difference to other people. Seeing the results that my clients get really just it just makes me happy every day, so that I'm doing what I love, and then I'm able to be there for the people that I love as well.
Love that. Amazing. That's a perfect way to end on. Fantastic. So where can people find you? Like I said, we'll make sure that the link for the event is in the show notes and all of your links. But just in case we want to come out and reach out and say hey, and grab your freebie as well. I know you've got the time-saving tech checklist as well. So do you want to tell us quickly about that and just where people can connect with you?
Yeah, so I am This Mum Loves Tech on everywhere. The main place that I hang out is Instagram, but you can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, Pinterest. I'm everywhere. So yeah, my time saving tech checklist is really to kind of help you audit your tech, because a lot of times you sign up for things and then you may be paying for different stuff, and often I get in conversations with people and they're like, didn't realize I had these two things that are actually doing the same job, or they could be doing the same job. So it's a way of kind of going through everything, auditing it, and also writing it down. Like for every single piece of tool, I'm like, what's the email address you use to log into this platform, and just having that record so that you can, because it's a fillable PDF, so that you can actually action it and be like, right, this is my little tech playbook, as it were, or instruction manual, now that I can just go back to and be like, right, now I've got this is what I log in with it with, this is what I'm using it for. And then it just helps you realize, have you got any bits of tech missing that might help you, that you might not have realized existed, or you've got tools that you no longer need that you can cancel accounts and unsubscribe for and all that kind of stuff. So yes, just to help you just have the tech that's actually going to help you, because that's what the tech should be doing. It should be helping you run your business, not taking up all of your time. So if it is, it's not the right tech for you.
No, brilliant. And it's absolutely brilliant, because you kindly shared that as the gift for the Autumn Thrive Edit last year, didn't you, for the bundle that I hosted? And it's amazing. I've seen it. So if you want to see where you're at with your tech, definitely go and grab that. So like I said, all of the links for everything is in the show notes. Go down and have a look, and then head on over to Instagram. Go and say hello to Nicola. I'm sure she would absolutely love to hear from you. And if the event sounds like it's something that's of interest to you, definitely come along to that as well. Thank you so much for this, Nicola. It's been amazing. It's been great having you a guest on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been lovely to chat. Any excuse to talk tech, I'm there.
Fantastic. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. And if you've been watching on YouTube, and I look forward to catching you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.